Hello, Smurfettes. Smurf and Smurfettes. See, I got something on my head. I look like a Smurf. I wish I was thinner. I wish my teeth were cleaner. I wish they were well shaped. I wish they weren't in a I wish my bite wasn't wrong. It's a wrong bite. It's a bad bite. It's wrong. And I wish I wasn't so fat. Did I say that? I said I wanted to be slim. So thinking about how bad I feel about myself and how stupid I feel, and yeah. And I want to share one thing which I most positively will probably, most likely will regret sharing. It's very hard to not masturbate right now. I very much want to masturbate. I'm keeping myself from watching any porn videos, which is typically what I masturbate to. Sometimes I'll look at pictures, but it's usually videos. And I've managed to not do that, to not watch any porn. But I do search online, and when I see a picture of a nice actress, a pretty actress, an attractive actress, I'll click on it. And I saw this one picture of on the Internet Movie Database of an attractive actress, and I clicked on it, and I went through this list of actors and actresses, famous screen couples, and then I saw anyway Jennifer Lawrence and someone else, forget, Bradley Cooper, and I immediately thought, well, not immediately, but a little bit later, I thought, well, Jennifer Lawrence in this picture has cleavage, and I remember in the movie there was a focus in on her cleavage, and I think later on I looked for videos of herself that were online of her naked. Someone had stolen videos and pictures from her account and posted them on Celebrity Jihad or something, which is a site for, celebrity nude photographs or videos. And I looked at it, and so I found myself thinking about her, and I thought, maybe there's no point to this video to say any of this. Maybe this is too lurid or disgusting, and I should never share this with anyone ever. So maybe I won't. Maybe I won't. But this is what I thought. I put down my computer. I didn't look at any pornographic images, but I thought of her breasts, and I thought of putting my mouth on her breast. And then I thought, actually, I don't know that I like the thought of that. Why? Because that's usually like one of my favorite things to think about and fantasize about. But when I thought about it in this respect, I thought, why would Jennifer Lawrence ever want me to put my mouth on her breast? Why would she ever be attracted to someone like me? And then I thought, well, if she ever would do it, she'd probably be paid to do it, or she'd do it, for some non-artistic reason. She wouldn't do it out of a genuine desire for me or love for me. And then I immediately got out of that thought of the I stopped I stopped enjoying the fantasy of it at that moment. And then I thought, well, but maybe she would get paid in this fantasy. Maybe I would give her money, or maybe I was wealthy, or maybe she's one of those people that doesn't mind, pleasuring different men, which is kind of strange. I mean, it's funny that I'm judging women that might be interested in pleasuring different men when I am a man who actually would sleep with many different women if I ever, if my fantasies were ever a reality. That's what would be true. And anyway, so I first thought, well, she probably wouldn't even enjoy this. So I basically what I thought was my mouth is on her breast, and then I look up into her eyes, and then I notice kind of a fake smile, and at that moment I get turned off, and I don't want to be a part of this anymore. But then I think, well, what if she's paid, or what if she like feels compelled for some reason? Maybe I'm really handsome. Maybe I'm fit and trim, and I'm a well-known actor, and I'm funny and I'm smart and all those things. And then she would like that attention or like some kind of sexual interaction. But then I think that's what do I think at that point? I'm like, no, no, I don't really. Actually, that's not true. The last thing I said was not true. I didn't imagine myself thinking of myself as being smart and attractive and all of those things. I just thought maybe she somehow would be someone generous enough to, pleasure different men or be a sexual object to different men. And that made me feel strange too. And so at that moment, I just like tore myself away from that fantasy, which is not easy to do because live in my fantasies. And if I don't watch porn or if I don't look at any pornographic images, I'll think about somebody and I'll create a fantasy to make it work. And I have a very active imagination, I would say. And so to tear myself away from that fantasy was very hard and it hurt a lot. And at that very moment that I tore, so in other words, I have my, in the fantasy, this is kind of weird, so strange to talk about, but this is really what happened. First, in the fantasy, I think about putting my mouth on Jennifer Lawrence's like bare breasts, on one of them, and then looking up into her eyes, and then I imagine her smiling. However, I realized very quickly that that smile can't be a pure smile of sexual love and desire for myself. And so the only way that it could be real is if she somehow likes to pleasure, different men. Because I surely would not be a mainstay in her life. That's not, in the fantasy, it's not a loving relationship. It's just a sexual thing. And then that turns me off because I don't know why. But the thought of somebody like being with different people or being on the list of different people for this one woman grosses me out. And then I tear myself away from the fantasy. But at that moment, I'm still around Jennifer Lawrence. And then I imagine someone else being around her. So then I imagine myself like on the street with Jennifer Lawrence, and maybe I make some kind of a sexual advance. But I think of myself as this disgusting kind of pervert on the street making an advance at Jennifer Lawrence. And what happens? I am kind of like pushed away and I fall on the sidewalk. I imagine myself as a bum in this newer part of the fantasy. And I'm pushed away from Jennifer Lawrence, maybe by a friend that is with her or someone that is around her. I don't know. But I imagine my face hitting the pavement, like falling and my face hitting the pavement. And I imagine myself staying there with the pavement as my pillow and just thinking, this is where I should be. This is how depraved I am. I'm a bum making advances at a beautiful celebrity. And this is where I should be, on the pavement. And then I think, this is really weird, but then I think Jennifer Lawrence might at that point say, she might like have sympathy for me and say, "Are you okay?" And maybe help and try and pick me up. And at this point, she's fully clothed. Okay, because she sees this bum, however strange I am, or whatever I did, and I hurt myself. I got hurt, and maybe she has some sympathy for me. And then I think, but what if she doesn't have sympathy for me? What if she just laughs at me and tells me how disgusting I am, and then laughs with her friends and walks away? And then I think to myself, am I the person laughing at the bum, or am I that person on the pavement? And I honestly don't know if I would, if I saw a bum fall on the floor in that manner, I don't know if I would help to pick him up. And I'm not really explaining it as well as I wanted to, but there was this flash of perception of a role reversal, and it's weird how I went from a sexual desire and a sexual fantasy to this morality story of sympathy and charity. And I wanted to give an honest account of some things in my life during this 3 day challenge, and I think I am going to post this up, even though this might not be good for me to share. I think it is kind of perverted. It is kind of disgusting. It is rather depraved in some ways to share something like this. However, I think a lot of people can still yet identify with it, and it's not too foreign because we all are sexual people in some way. I don't know if people should go around sharing their sexual fantasies, which is what I'm doing now, but I'm just someone that feels that everything should be put out in the open. One day, I do imagine this. I imagine people not. I don't even know how this would work, but like, I imagine people not being afraid of having sex in front of other people. How would that work? It just. I don't know how that would work. I don't know how that would work. I'm not talking about orgies. I'm not talking about orgies. I don't know what I'm talking about. So that's it. All right. Hope that helps somebody.